Hey everyone, thanks again for tuning into Sin's Workshop. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Today I'm joined by my husband's cat, Nix, and my little kitten, Lily Potter. Just in case you see them running back and forth, because they're going crazy right now, playing with one another. It's a little adorable. but, in any case, let's get to it. Today we're going to be talking about The Good Girls by Eliza Bartlett. I have to say, I 100% absolutely love this book. This book has been heralded as one for the Me Too movement, and you know what? That was 100% correct. It's definitely an important book, and I feel like I cannot review it with justice. I already did the podcast, I already did the written review. This is the last one I have to do, and I feel like they're also insignificant to what the book is really about. And it follows the disappearance of Emma Baines. She's the daughter of the police chief. And it also follows Claude, the troublemaker, Gwen, the overachiever, and Avery, the cheerleading captain. They are all suspects in her disappearance and supposed murder. So, what I think is really, really important about this novel is how it just comes to life. Because the way it opens, it's clearly Emma Bain's voice. And you think it might be a sort of Lovely Bones type scenario, but it's not. It goes straight to police interviews, and that's what I think is really good and clever about Bartlett's writing. She's using different forms to tell this story. You have police interviews, and then as they're interviewing, it goes right into storytelling, third person storytelling. Each person is, recapping their day in a very powerful, reminiscent way. And then it also does news articles, police reports, blog posts, and diary entries. And I think it's so powerful how they all work together to really give the story life. There is that risk, there's always that risk. If you're going to use different mediums in your writing, there is always that risk that you can distract the reader and pull the reader away from the story. But that doesn't happen here with Bartlett's writing because it's very cohesive. It is very straightforward. It is very in your face. She keeps that momentum up. And I think it's very clever how she keeps the momentum up because there are a lot of red herrings. You have to pay attention to the detail because once you read it, you just kind of want to go back and reread it to see if you can solve it. What's happening. And I don't think you can. I think that's really good, though, that it kind of takes you by surprise because I was surprised. I was very surprised. I was like, what? But I did have many suspects, and my final suspect, I was right. I remember saying it in the husband to my car. I'm like, it is this dude, and he is this and this, and he is a predator. He is clearly a predator, and I think it's great that you really don't know who to trust in this novel. You really don't. You don't know who is. You don't know if this is going to be a type of Pretty Little Liars situation or if this is going to be like a murder mystery. You're not really sure who to trust. And I like that. I like that I'm unsure because I don't want to just like give my trust away to any one character and then be heartbroken when they turn out to be the villain. So that is what I liked about this. Bartlett keeps the story on edge. She keeps the momentum rising. But what I think is really, really powerful is how she brings this story and these girls to life. I really do love the characterization in this novel. I really do love um, how we get to know these girls. You know, Claude and Emma, Avery and Gwen. I like how we get to see how society sees them. Like I said, they are known by their labels: the overachiever, the true captain, the troublemaker. So clearly, the troublemaker asked for it, right? No, no one ever asked for it, and I think that's really important. That's a really something important that Bartlett does touch upon. That your behavior does not condone rape, ever. You're never asking for it. I don't know who's watching this that needs to hear that. You are never asking for it. And I don't know who else needs to hear this, but coercion is not consent either. So, whoever's watching this, you didn't ask for it. You never did. I know there's probably going to be some people out there who needed to hear that. And what I like about the story is how Bartlett addresses that core belief that it's hard for anyone to go report an assault because there's always just there's a voice like, what if there's not enough proof? You know, I just want to put it behind me. What if they don't believe me? And Avery voices that belief very strongly. She's like, see, you don't believe me because I'm just the airhead cheerleader. See? And that's what's wrong with labels. Society sees these girls as their labels versus actually seeing them, who they are. And I think that that's still a big issue in today's society. We just see people as the mean girl, the troublemaker, the goth, the cheerleader, the overachiever. There are still these labels that go on to people that really do influence the way people are going to see them. In high school, I believe I was the nerd. Always had a book in my hand. I was the bookworm, the overachiever. Pretty much kept my head down, hung out with my friends, had many anxiety attacks. That was me. That was my label. So we all had labels in high school, I think. And I think it's really important, and I've learned this since then. We should not let our labels define who we are. I know I did that. And I think it's important that Bartlett is highlighting this for future generations to know that it's not your label who defines who you are. And your labels should have no influence on how society sees you. They should see you through your actions. And that's what I like about this. That was my takeaway from this. And I also like that Bartlett is using this story to give a voice to victims. Because these girls, they rise to the occasion. They band together. These three unlikely friends, they band together to get Emma's accuser. And I loved that. I loved this feminism, this bond of feminism. And these girls are smart. They had this whole plan and it completely took me by surprise. That's why I really don't feel like I can review this book with justice because I don't want to give anything away. I don't. It's so good. I was just blown away. By the end of it, I was just like, didn't see that coming. Didn't. And I like that. I think it's a really captivating story. And that's why I think this is a good book. I mean, it's really important socially. And that's another reason why I think it's just a great book. It's written so well, and I think it really does highlight a lot of problems that are still going on in today's society. And it does give a voice to change, it does give a voice to girls and victims. It does highlight problems that I think we need to address as a society, as a community. You just have to take a look and be like, you know? And I'm going to say this one little note. I know that there are liars out there, but it's a lie about things like this because if you're trying to get back at someone or if you're just angry at someone, this isn't the way to do it. To lie about assault or abuse. And I'm talking to you, Amber Heard. Because you make it harder for real victims to actually come out and report. You make it harder. Don't do that. You make it harder for real victims to be believed. And that's what happens in this novel. The real victims, they throw around that catchphrase like, oh, why'd she wait so long to report it? Why didn't she report it at all? I'll be like, because of this, because of how you're acting right now, because you don't even believe me, I think, once again, it's an important part of the novel that really needs to be addressed. And I loved how Bartlett brought it to life. She uses subtle language and detail, eyes moving like this. She's very careful with her detailing and her structuring of the story, and I think that that's a very great, and I think it's very captivating. And oh god, it's just this is why I feel like I can't review it with properly because it was so good. I mean, it needs to be read. This is a novel that needs to be read. Hands down, needs to be read. So, you know what? I think you can already guess how many stars I'm going to give this book. Yep, 5 stars. It was an excellent book. It has a wonderful narrative. I love the mixed forms of writing in order to tell the story, and I like the life that these characters have. I love how they are all very distinct voices, and they carry the story forward, and they blend together. They blend together to, not in a bad way, to bring to life a cohesive story. And that's my takeaway from this. It's an important novel. It is important for the Me Too movement. It definitely deserves to be read. So, on that note, I highly recommend purchasing this book. I will include a link to purchase the book in the description below. If money's tight, I get it. Trust me, I get it. Please check out the book from your local library. Libraries are a great resource for the community, and you don't even have to go to the actual library. They have e-catalogs where you can rent audiobooks and audiobooks and ebooks. You can just download the Overdrive app on your phone or your tablet. It's free. And look for your library, enter in your library card, and bing, bang, boom. You can start checking out ebooks from your local library. And on that note, I hope you all will continue to support me by liking this video, subscribing to my channel, and sharing it with all your book-loving friends. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and as always, happy reading!